it's Jess, and I'm here to spend a day indoors with y'all talking about week 6 of Big Brother 27, which, in my personal opinion, I think was the best week of the season. But we'll get into that. If you know, you know. I mean, you do know, obviously. We're here. But yeah, incredibly good week. I'm really excited to talk about this week. But before we get into this week, before we get into BB 27 at all, actually, just a couple things I want to mention. Because I'll probably forget to mention it at the end. So I'm just like, well, it's on my mind. Bring it up now. So I did make a post on the community little post thingy last week. Yeah, last week. But for coming up on the future for videos on this channel, woo, guess we got coming. We have coverage coming up for The Amazing Race 38 and Survivor 49. I know technically the seasons don't start for another month. Actually, literally a month to the day, pretty much. But we did get both casts officially last week. So I am going to make videos on both casts. The Amazing Race cast, for which is all Big Brother contestants this season, and their families, but you know what I mean. All Big Brother. Will be coming out this week. Probably not a super long video. I don't have a ton to say because it's it's not a very long video. But for the Survivor 49 cast, that might be in a couple of weeks. I am actually going to wait a bit because their video interviews are coming out one day at a time. So I want to wait until all of the videos are out for all of the contestants, so that way I can have a cohesive thought. I mean, they do have their written interviews as well, but I like to watch the video interviews. So that probably more towards in September, like. I don't know when I have to double check when the last interview comes out. I wrote it down in a different notebook I have in my bag. But yeah, that'll probably be more towards September. The Amazing Race cast video will be this week. And it will actually be this week. I don't care what my ADHD does. We're going to do it. We're doing it. I also am planning on doing coverage for a show on AMC that's coming out on the 9th of September. Guts and Glory. It is a horror reality competitive TV show that, honestly, I was like, yeah, it looks fun. Then I saw Greg Nicotero, and I'm like, oh, we're seated. I'm seated. If you don't know, The Walking Dead is my favorite TV show. Scripted TV show. Has been since, God, I was like 12, 13, whatever. Right before season 4 came out of The Walking Dead, because I watched it over the summer before season 4 aired. But yeah, love The Walking Dead. Greg Nicotero worked on The Walking Dead. He was one of the executive producers. He does like all the special effects and stuff too. So I'm like, get my attention. Plus, it's only 6 episodes apparently, so that's like a quick little thing we could do as we get into the end game of Big Brother. It tends to slow down as the cast really kind of dwindles. Though with this cast, they're crazy. So who the hell knows what the end game is gonna look like? I can't even picture the end game. Usually, like, at some point in a season, you kind of can figure out where the season's gonna go. You're kind of like, okay, I can see these, like, the top people we're gonna have in the end. I have no idea. So I'm going off of past seasons where we get to the end and we're like, alright, it's pretty slow. There's like 5-6 people left in the house. Not a ton going on, but Big Brother 27 lives in their own world, so who the hell knows? It could be a kooky, crazy endgame. But I am going off the assumption that it's going to be as it slows down as it usually does. So we'll be able to just do, a couple little videos on Guts and Glory. I think that'll be really fun. Plus, we'll be getting into fall. Obviously, September, fall, hello. And it's kind of gearing us up to Halloween. So I think that'll be fun. So yeah, that's coming up. And also, edited videos. Well, Jess is figuring out editing. That's right. We're figuring it out. So, upcoming, maybe in the next week or two, we have to see how long this takes me. This may be shocking to you all. Yes, I do like other things than reality television. So, this is not reality TV related at all. It will be an unboxing video. That's right. Unboxing. I said it for Stray Kids Karma album. That's right. If you couldn't tell, I have the posters in the background. I like K-pop. Yeah. Boo, I know. Whatever. But yeah, I do want to do that. I think it'd be really fun. Why not? Just a little, not like a serious top-down, page-by-page. It's for gags, for fun. I do have to just wait for the albums to come. They're supposed to come. The shipping originally tomorrow. So, something tomorrow. I do have one sitting here that I got at Walmart that I can't touch. I can't touch it until the rest of them come. But it's fine. Okay. I'm so sorry if you're here for Big Brother and you're like, what is she yapping about? I know. I'm very sorry. We'll get into Big Brother. But yeah, that's what's coming up. We got Survivor, Amazing Race, Guts and Glory, Stray Kids, and then possibly more edited videos depending on how long this takes me. But honestly, that's probably going to be more post Big Brother because boy is she time consuming. Big Brother. She takes up so much time. My life is Big Brother. But yeah, let's actually reel it back in now. Reeling myself back in to what we're all here to talk about. Week 6 of Big Brother 27, episodes 19 through 21. And Big Brother Unlocked is this week, but because this week, instead of doing it on Friday, they're doing it combined with the Sunday night episode, I'm just going to clump that into week 7. Obviously, because I haven't seen it. Typically, though, I would keep it whatever week it falls with. But that's next week. So, let's wind it back. All the way back to the end of the week 5 eviction. Zach has just gone out the door. In true Marcellus fashion, his buy-off power in his pocket, and Julie Chen's cue cards bouncing off the back of his head. The house, emotional. These people are very every eviction they are very, very emotional. I get, you live with these people, they're your friends. But it is Big Brother, so cry a little bit and then suck it up. We're back in it. Maybe that's just me though. It's fine. We get some diagrams from people, Morgan, Lauren, talking about this, because obviously they were the closest with Zach beyond Vince, but obviously Vince didn't vote Zach out. He was on the block next to him. Kind of showing why they both voted, by the way, to get Zach out. Morgan, who he deliberately did not use his power for to keep her safe, voted him out. Lauren, his ideal showman that did not happen, voted him out. Sorry, dude. But yeah, Morgan wanted, obviously they're all friends, but she says, which is very true, Vince has more of the connections in the house. I mean, Zach had, I guess, the social ties, but Vince has been just playing the middle this whole game. He is at everywhere, everything, all at once. Vince is Mr. Worldwide in this house, whether it's good for him or not. So, understandable for Morgan, he has a lot of ties with everybody. Whether he has sway on them is a different question, but he does have, people think they have Vince. A lot of people, everybody, a lot of people. Lauren, obviously, talked about she has the final 2 with Vince, so even though, she's, sad that Zach's leaving, she's no regrets. Fair enough, But it's fine. We do have, great shots of, was it Morgan and Vince? When Vince is still in his egg costume at this point. And they're just he's crying, he's I don't, it was just, I can't believe it. I get it, it's sad. But just seeing a man cry in a big ass egg costume kills me, man. You know what? At least he had, well, I guess no, he didn't have fun. I was at least he had fun. I don't think he did. I don't think he really did. I had fun. Vince probably not. Not so much. But yeah. What a week. What a week. Now, everybody's gearing up for this HOH competition. And we get Mickey. Oh, Mickey. Mickey. I think we should call this week Mickey's Delusion Week. I think that should be one of the themes of this week. Because Mickey is on something else this week, let me tell you. Truly, like, in her own world. Must be nice to not face reality. Because I don't know what she's on. But she is still going after Rachel. She tells pretty much everybody on that side of the house. Ava, Will, Morgan, Ashley. She's like, Rachel's gotta go. She does mention Keanu as well, but she definitely seems to be more get Rachel out. I think Keanu is probably the easier in her mind. Well, I don't know. I don't know what goes on in Mickey's mind, but I'm assuming that Keanu to her is probably the easier target to get out because he's Keanu, and Rachel is the big shot. The swing you can't miss. Now, she says this in front of, like I said, Ashley, Will, Morgan, Ava, multiple times. And they're like, I don't know about that one, Chief. Ashley, excuse me. Ashley and Will both in the diary rooms were like, whoa. Don't look at me. Get Rachel out. I don't want that smoke. They're like, I'm good with Rachel. Rachel's good with me. Don't look at me. I'm not getting involved in that mess. I think even, was it Will? He said something like, you think I want to go against Rachel Riley? And I'm like, exactly. Rachel, if you're going to try to get out Rachel Riley, especially with this cast, that is a swing you cannot miss. Because Rachel is like leagues above these people in terms of like actually having competent game sense. So she will know that you're coming for. I mean, and she does, especially because Ava tells Rachel like they're coming for you. And Rachel's like, yeah, no kidding. I know. Rachel can read the room. Rachel can see the writing on the wall. This is not her first rodeo. But I am glad that at least some of the people in the house realize like that's gonna be a rough fight, and I'm not prepared for that. Because for somebody like Rachel to take, like, she's Rachel Riley. I feel like I think that's all I need to say, that she's Rachel Riley, and you can't fuck that up if you're trying to get her out of this house. It's like, I know, they don't want her in jury for some reason. I personally would want, well, I don't know. It's hard to track these people's thoughts because they are so all over the place. Some of them, they want her out right now. Some of them want her to be in jury. Some of them, like, Rachel could leave this moment and I wouldn't bat an eye. And then this house is so wishy-washy that you could be hating Rachel next week and now you're in alliance with her this week. But that's coming up. But yeah. Speaking of alliances with Rachel, here comes Keanu. Keanu. Again, somebody who lives in their own fantasy world. Keanu's talking to Rachel in the storage room, and he says, you know, Rachel, I think we should make an alliance, because he's like, we're in a great spot. We're in the middle. We're in a pretty good spot right now. We should form an alliance. Me, you, Riley, Catherine, Vince, and Kelly. I forgot to say Kelly as well. I had to look at my notes. And they're just like, what the hell are you talking about? We are not in the middle. We are not in a good spot. We are at the bottom. We have nothing. We have scraps. And Ken was like, what are you talking about? We're in the middle. No. Keanu does this thing where he just does not listen to any woman. If a woman does something, he'll be like, I don't think that's true, actually. I don't think you understand. Even though Keanu, who has, I think, said he watched just clips of Big Brother, I don't know if he's actually seen a season. All he's watched YouTube clips. Thinks he has a better read on his spot in the house and Rachel Riley's spot in the house than Rachel Riley herself. That is something only a man could think. The audacity of a man. Or someone who's deeply delusional. And Keanu is both. And Rachel's like, what is he talking about? And she's like, he needs to get a grip. Because that's not even close to correct. And to think, let me read that lines again. Keanu, Rachel, Riley, Catherine, Vince, and Kelly. First of all, Riley and Catherine don't even like Keanu. I don't even think they like Keanu that much. They definitely aren't Team Rachel. So that you already lost them there. Kelly is so crazy. You couldn't pay me to work with her. I guess it'd be good to get her on your side, but even then, it's Kelly. She just does whatever she wants, and it will not make a lick of sense. So, not the greatest ally. Possibly a number for a vote, but even then, crazy Kelly does what she wants. I wouldn't even count on her for that, because she could just like, not even because it's good for her game, just because it's for fun. The only time she's like, I could throw this competition, I could win the veto and use it on somebody that's not myself on the block, and take them down just for kicks. The amount of times she's like leaked info for fun. Even that's another problem. She just leaks info. Just to instigate, because she thinks it's funny. That's very dumb. That's why she has like no women equity. I could not see a universe, a Big Brother multiverse where this woman would win Big Brother. I think we would be in the Twilight Zone. Or hell. I don't know. Maybe a mix of both. But yeah. Vince, I get why Keanu thinks he has Vince on his side, because Vince, again, playing the middle. But Vince is just so afraid of Rachel. He is terrified of Rachel. And I don't... And also Vince knows Rachel has his ass clocked and she's coming for him. So Vince is like, I don't think Vince would work with Rachel. Which Rachel understands. Rachel understands all of this, perfectly clear. Keanu, not so much. But that's why Keanu is not Rachel Riley. But I digress. We get into our HOH competition, which I love this HOH competition. Partially just because I think the comp was fun, also because they're basing it off of Scream, and I love Scream. Scream is one of my favorite franchises ever. I love Scream. So when I was watching it, I was like, oh yeah, this rocks. It is the party slasher comp. It's definitely is a revamped, better version of the damn Nether Gorgon comp from BB25. Because that comp was fine. Definitely had its issues. As did every comp on Big Brother 25. It was physical and it didn't need to be physical. They fixed it this time. So, in both comps, they are being hunted down by party slasher / Nether Gorgon. I'm just talking in the sense of this comp. Just not confused. They're being hunted by the party slasher. It's post prom in the 1980s. They all have their big goofy ass costumes on. They're actually really cute. I like them. Fun fact: when the feeds came back, Rachel was still wearing her competition outfit, and I fully thought that was a dress she brought. That brand ass silver dress. I'm like, makes sense. But it was the comp outfit. I'm like, oh, that's not hers. Oh well. But yeah, they are in the living room area, waiting. Then they get a call from the party slasher. He's like, guess what? You had fun at your 80s prom? Just guess what? I'm hunting your ass down. They have 5 minutes to go look out the 6 rooms in the house. I wrote them down. It was the bedroom, the nursery, the kitchen, the dining room, the garage, and I'm forgetting a room. The bathroom. So they have 5 minutes to walk around the house and just observe everything in the house. Look for information, for clues. Once 5 minutes are up, they go back to the living room, and there'll be multiple rounds where they will get a call from the party slasher, who will give them a clue to let them know to give them a hint as to which rooms are safe to hide in. If they get, into a safe room, they move on to the next round. Not safe room, you're cooked. You're dead. You're done. Show over. Now, I like that. And they don't have to race for spots. They have to lock it in and then go. Which was the issue with 25. Was that there was multiple, same thing. Being hunted, there's multiple rooms, they get a clue where to hide. But for 25, for the Nether Gorgon comp, there was only limited spots in each hiding area. And then you had to run to get the spot. So if you knew what the answer was, the safe spots, and you got there, but you just couldn't run faster than somebody to get there, you were like, well, I'm cooked. I knew it was the right answer, and now I have to go hide in this spot where I know I'm going to die. Because I couldn't run that fast. And that was like the big issue. To make it equitable was no more of a foot race. No limited spots, no foot race. Because obviously 25, all the fit people were out running like Felicia. But you gonna put Felicia in a foot race against Jag? You can't. But this time they actually made it equitable. The other 5 minutes, my favorite part of this comp, at least in the rooms, was the bedroom having those like tacky like J14 like teen bop fucking magazine posters of like Xavier, Derek X, and Joseph. And I was like, hell yeah, can we get one of those? Can I get one? Where'd you get that, Derek? Oh my god. That was the worst, fumble of a name ever. Derek X. I talk too fast, if you haven't noticed. But the posters were really good. I really like those. But yeah, they do the first round. What were the clues? I didn't write down the clues. I probably should have. But they were all in the sense of okay, you need to hide. The rooms are safe if it has more red cups than blue cups. Or if it has exactly 16 candles. Things like that. Pretty much counting, or if the hand is on midnight on the clock on the wall. Okay. Pretty fair. Taking a look around the room, able to find everything. Though, I guess certain things, like the one with the clock on the wall, you'll know what it when you go into your room, you're like, I'm wrong. But there's a lot of them out in that first round. I wrote it down, because a lot. Yeah, it was Lauren, Kat, Keanu, Vince, Ashley, and Riley. All out round one. Just out the hop. They have to go back to the house where Ava's waiting. They left poor Ava in her costume like this. Sitting on the couch. She was like, oh. They didn't even let her into the living room area in the comp. She just had to go sit back on the couch in the living room at the house. She's like, oh, well. Womp womp. I'm here by myself. The next round, at this point, there is only Rachel, Morgan, Kelly, Mickey, and Will. So a lot of, we would chunk that competition in half right away. Round 2, we get more Mickey and Will out. Fine by me. I like Will, not Will. Mickey's the problem. If Mickey went... I don't want to think about another Mickey HOH. I can't do it. She already still has HOH-itis, and her reign was weeks ago. Getting it again? No thanks. So I'm relieved when she loses. I'm like, whoo, thank God. Round 3, Kelly's out. Fine. We are down to Morgan and Rachel. Now, according to them on the feeds, this actually went several rounds because they just kept getting it correct. They just kept tying themselves. But eventually, I'm not sure how many rounds. They didn't say how many rounds it actually went. But we only get to see one of them. We don't see any of the tie rounds because they'd be like, whatever. That's not important at all, I guess. Whatever. We get our HOH winner. And they don't show it right away. They psych us. They tease us. Even though we already know. They just show them in the rooms. Which, by the way, every time somebody dies, the lights go red in that room. And they have to be screaming ah! It's kind of funny. I really like that. Very campy. And the funniest part, I didn't even talk about it. Every time, they get a call from the party slasher in the living room, they're like, oh my god. And they're hiding in rooms They were acting their asses off, and I'm like, you know what? At least they're having fun. It's better than like the people who are actually acting. I think it helped that they had Morgan, Rachel, and Kelly at the end because they were actually willing to commit. Like, can you imagine if like Riley would not have committed? I'm amazed he even put on the suit. But they got people who commit to the bit, and I appreciate that. If you're gonna be on a really, you have to accept the campiness. Go all in with the bit because that's the spirit, baby. Camp or go home. But yeah, they don't show us the results because Morgan and Rachel have split rooms. We cut back to everybody in the living room in the actual house waiting, and they hear the doors coming. Morgan and Rachel walk in. Who wants to meet your new HOH? It was really it happened in the big year of Big Brother 20 of girl, what am I saying? In the big year of 2025, we have a Rachel Riley HOH. When I tell you, I about hit the roof. When I woke up Friday morning and I was like, I gotta see this HOH, and I always scroll to the updates, and I keep my eyes shut till I get to the very, and I scroll slowly until we get to that, and I'm like, when I saw Rachel, I was like, no way, Rachel. Oh, because I just get so nervous whenever it comes to HOH because I just don't want Rachel to go home. I know it's common sense. Get out the bed. I don't care. It's Rachel Riley. I'm ride or die till the end. So we get a Rachel HOH, and I'm partially happy, obviously, because it's Rachel fucking Riley, but also because, y'all, we actually have an HOH that has common sense, that knows Big Brother, that understands the strategy. We actually have somebody who's competent and will not, like, send their own allies home. I'm like, yes! Somebody who is smart and logical and rational and reasonable. Rachel Riley, thank you. My heart. I was so happy. Like, literally, this alone made the week. I'm like, this is gonna be the best week ever. I didn't care who went home, who went up. And Rachel Riley, we trust. Obviously, I'm happy. Everybody outside is happy. In the house, not everybody's happy. Vince shaking in his boots. Mickey and Morgan, not the most pumped. Morgan's very upset again about losing another comp. Second place again. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. It's fine. Morgan, your day will probably come one day. Yeah, but those three not happy. Probably because they know they're not in Rachel Riley's favorite people. Well, some of them know. Mickey is like, Rachel's been kind of weird the past couple weeks. I don't know. I don't get it. I wonder why. I wonder why. But we'll get to that. And Rachel's good old frenemy, Keanu, is trying real hard to get Vince back. He's like, oh, just go talk up Rachel. She'll love it. And Vince is like, I'm not doing that. Are you kidding me? No, thank you. Because again, Vince is what? Scared of Rachel Riley. But it's fine. She's not going to bite your head off. She might send you home, but she won't bite your head off. Oh, Vince. Obviously, these three do have a reason to be worried. Because Rachel does want them up. Rachel specifically wants to target Mickey. Because she obviously has felt no trust with Mickey ever since she sent Jimmy home in week 4 when she stole Riley's HOH. Despite all of the logic and common sense in the house telling her, don't do that, don't target your ally, and blow up your entire game with your allies. So Rachel's like, yeah, no. I don't trust Mickey. If she did it to Jimmy, why couldn't she do it to me? Some of Rachel's allies aren't the most happy. Ashley is kind of like, I really don't want to target Mickey. I'm good with Mickey. Mickey's good with me. Though listen, at this point, after they saw what happened with Jimmy, wouldn't really want Mickey in the game. But maybe that's just me. I'm not in the house with her. I don't know. Well, I don't know. I don't know why they're all so leaned into Mickey, because she has not proven to be the best ally once the HOH-itis, oh my god, HOH-itis infected her brain. But Mickey has somehow locked in Ashley, and also Will as well. So Ashley doesn't really want Rachel to go after Mickey. She kind of wants to steer her the other way, but she also has to realize, like, she knows as well, like, Mickey's going after Rachel too. So it's not like it's totally coming out of nowhere. No matter what Mickey will try to say. And Vince also is trying to talk to Rachel because he does realize as well, Mickey, oh god. I don't know what is wrong with me today. I keep saying every name wrong. But Vince is aware Rachel knows his shit. So he's trying to be like, hey, doesn't try to keep himself off of the block. He says to her, I really appreciate it if you would, front door me instead of back door me. I mean, I would say I'd really appreciate it if you don't put my ass on the block, but I guess this is an approach too. And then Rachel says to him, oh, you think you're that big of a target to be backdoored? That's cute. And Vince is like, Vince looks like he's about to cry when she says that. I was like, oh, Vince. Bless your heart, don't. He was like, ah, ha, ha. Also, just to be clear, by the way, can't really do any even though this happens every year. Nobody knows the definition of a backdoor. Nobody can be backdoored right now because of the blockbuster. A backdoor, if you don't know, is putting somebody as a renom after the veto competition, at the veto meeting. That way they don't have a chance to save themselves and then sending them home. You can't really do that, technically, because if you, let's say it was, it's Mickey Morgan Vince, and she takes, Vince comes down, and she's like, I'm gonna backdoor Catherine. I'm just picking her name. I could just pick this week, but we'll find. It's not a backdoor, because Catherine still would have a chance to save herself with the blockbuster, so we're not really backdooring people this season, but this happens every year. Nobody knows what a backdoor means. They just call that a renom. Not correct, but it's fine. That's not what we're here. Moving on. Moving on from that. Yeah. Vince is shaking his boots. As always, he is afraid of Rachel Riley. I don't know why he didn't just bitch, just don't put me up. He probably did in the full. I honestly, sometimes the feeds blur in my mind, because there's so much happening with these people. There is truly so much. But anyways, going back to Rachel, she knows that she has, like, relationships with people, but she doesn't really have solid, she doesn't have alliances. To be fair, barely, there's, like, no alliances this season. These people are out of their minds. There's no alliances. But she knows she has relationships with, Will, Ava, Ashley, kind of Keanu. She's working on it. She is trying to pull in Kelly as well, just to have, numbers for a vote. Like I said earlier, I wouldn't really bank on Kelly as a solid ally, but you probably could try to pull her in as a number for votes. Especially as we get further into the game. If they keep Kelly around, you're going to need numbers as they dwindle. It takes less and less and less votes. So, we also get multiple conversations this week. Mickey and Mickey and Rachel. I almost said Morgan. Mickey and Rachel. Now, having seen these on the feeds, I'm exhausted seeing them again on the episode. Because Mickey truly lives in her own fantasy world. Especially when it comes to, like, Rachel. She's like, I don't know. She's been kind of acting weird since, like, Jimmy went home. I don't really know why. Mind you, also think Mickey is lying in all of her diary rooms because she has to know why Rachel is not happy with her, but she seems shocked when Rachel tells it to her. But let's wind it back a little bit. So she's talking to Rachel in her agent's room. I believe these conversations were the same day, I believe. It all blurs together sometimes with Mickey. But yeah, they were pretty close together. Mickey is lounging in Rachel's HOH room like it is her own HOH room. In fact, they don't show an episode, but at one point during this conversation, there's a knock on the door, and Mickey is like acting as she's like, "Hello, what? Yeah, like yelling to whoever it is to come in." So it's Riley and Catherine, and she's like, "What do you want?" And they're like, "Well, not you. We want. You're not the HOH. Why the fuck we want to talk to you?" They're like, "Well," she's like, "Oh, what did you want?" You're not the HOH. Even though you're sitting in the room, you're not the HOH. You have to get a grip on that. But this conversation, my God. She's like, "Oh, how do you think the game's going? What do you think?" They're pretty much both talking, asking each other, like, "How do you think your game's going? How are you feeling? Da-da-da." Rachel brings up, "I definitely feel like I was being targeted last week." And Mickey's like, in the diary room, like, "That doesn't make sense. Ava was HOH. I don't get it. Why are you telling it to me?" "Ma'am, it's called subtlety." She knows you're targeting her. She's not going to say that right because she's smarter than that. This whole conversation drives me nuts because Mickey is just like in her own world. And she is just, I don't know. She has to be lying in these diary rooms. Well, she is. But I don't know if she's lying on purpose or if she just truly believes this. But she's like, "I don't know why Rachel's not being direct. I don't have time for guessing games. Just say what you need to directly." Mickey. She is. You just can't read the cues here. Because she's like, "I feel like I was being targeted." And she's like, "By who?" I don't think anybody was targeting you." She's like, "I don't know. Who was targeting me, Mickey?" "Ma'am, that is clearly insinuating you were targeting her and she knows it." But Mickey apparently can't read shit. So Mickey's like, "I don't get why she's being indirect." Okay, Mickey. And she's just like, "Oh my God, this is so annoying. Why can't Rachel just say what she needs to say? I don't know why she's being so this. Da, 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 da." Sure. Rachel's the problem here. And there's more. And then when they're talking, once Rachel is dressed, they're out of the tub. Because Rachel's in the tub the whole time. And Mickey's lounged on her couch over there, talking to her through the bathroom, like, pivot wall. And she's like, Mickey and Rachel sitting there. She's like, "Rachel, I want you to be real with me. Do you promise? Will you be real with me?" Rachel has to have the patience of the fucking, like, gods. Because I would be like, "What do you want?" And then she says in the diary room as well, "I really want Rachel to try to mend things between us." Rachel to try to mend things? You were the one that wronged Rachel. And Rachel pretty much tells her, like, "I feel like you betrayed my trust when you sent Jimmy home. When you nominated Jimmy and sent him home." And she's like, and she's still like, I don't get it. I don't know why Rachel's being weird. And she tells Rachel, "Oh, I thought it was really good for me and our games. Me and you, our games." And Rachel's like, Rachel has to be, like, I would have been like, "No, why would it be good for my game to send my ally home? Why would it be good for your game to send your ally home?" Because it wasn't. It was not good. I don't care who Mickey tries to convince. It was not a good move. It's just like, every time Mickey talks, like, this whole week, every time she talks to Rachel, it, like, makes my head spin because she, like, truly doesn't grasp like, why Rachel is against her. You sent her friend home, both of your allies home. You are targeting her. You are saying to multiple people that you're targeting her. And you're like, I don't understand. She's acting weird. It must be nice. I want to know what it must be like inside their minds, because is it peaceful to be this delusional, to live in like this much of like a fantasy land that you like just live in your own world? Must be nice. She does get something, at least, in with Rachel. She lets Rachel know that Kelly, classic Kelly instigating again, this is all she wants to do. Kelly let it slip to Mickey that Rachel told Kelly that she feels like Mickey has been icing her out. And Rachel's like, why the fuck would she tell you that? I don't know why. Rachel is shocked. It's Kelly. Kelly does whatever she feels like, whenever she feels like. And she's like, I have to talk to Kelly about this. And Mickey's like, well, if you talk to Kelly about it, then she's not going to want to tell me stuff. So you shouldn't do that. And Rachel's like, well, then I can't tell Kelly stuff. Because, once again, Mickey, in her own world. Like, you can't do that. It's going to bother me, so you shouldn't do that. Girl. Too bad. So sad. Obviously, Rachel doesn't give a shit what Mickey thinks, because she goes to talk to Kelly anyways, to confront her, like, hey, why did you say that? I thought we were trying to be, like, close in, like, a game sense and friendship-wise. And Kelly's like, oh, man, like, in her diary, I'm like, oh, why did I instigate again? All I do is cause problems for myself. Girl, stand up. You are 30 years old. Just... Yeah. I don't know why you're instigating Kelly. I don't even know if Kelly knows. Kelly just does whatever she wants. God bless Rachel for trying to figure this shit out, because there's no logic with Kelly. It's just vibes at this point, because Kelly makes up her own mind whenever she feels like it. And honestly, I wouldn't even, I don't know. I just don't even know with Kelly. Kelly is just she's such an enigma. She really truly is, because I don't even know if she's playing my brother. I think she's just there for shits and giggles. But anyways, Kelly instigation aside, this really blows up Rachel's trust with Kelly again. She's like, great, now I can't really trust Kelly anymore, and she's pissed off. Pissed off to the point that we're getting into the nomination ceremony here. We actually get a shot of Rachel in the diary room before the nomination ceremony, holding the keys. Holding Mickey and Kelly's keys, because she is so aggravated with Kelly blowing her shit up that she's like, I deadass might nominate Mickey. Kelly instead of Mickey. Which goes to show you why Kelly should get a grip and stop the shit, because she's gonna get herself sent home for her nonsense. And she very nearly could have. But Rachel realizes, no. Kelly, not a problem right now. So we get into our nomination ceremony this week. And there honestly wasn't a ton of discussion about noms this week, because it was pretty cut and dry. Rachel already knew who she was putting up. We already knew who she was putting up. It was just pretty much everybody else trying to pitch themselves, and then Mickey and her nonsense. But yeah. Our nominees this week: Vince, Morgan, and Mickey. Pretty straightforward to me. Mickey and Morgan are coming after her. She knows Vince is trying to play all sides, every direction of the house. And she pretty much says it to them in her, speeches. She's like, listen, if, going off of Ava's speech last week, if you're the gardener with your hands in all the pots, Morgan is your number 2 planting all the seeds. Because you guys are trying to run this game, and I can't allow that. And then Mickey's right along with you guys, and I will not allow you guys to control this game. Fair. Honestly, fair. And these are perfectly fine. Pretty good noms, actually, for like, good noms. Great noms. No allies on the block. Even though Mickey is shocked. She said, why would you do this to me? I don't know, Mickey. You tell me. At this point, you tell me, girl. Because I don't think you know. Vince is like, yeah. Yeah. Vince is not shocked. And Rachel says it is like, she's like, yeah, Vince is everywhere, and he knows that I know it. And she's also going off a comment as well Morgan made to her about, you know, we want you and Jerry. Why she said that to Rachel, I don't know. And obviously, Mickey is pretty obvious as well, but threw her ally under the bus, got rid of Rachel and they were, you know, they're mutual allies. No longer trusts her. Is knows very well that she's targeting her. Pretty simple. Morgan's crying. Mickey, now, I don't know if she didn't realize, because, okay. So Mickey has been particularly making some nasty comments about Rachel. They do end up showing them in the the veto episode, shortly after, you know, once I can't talk today. I'm sorry. But yeah, I'm trying to explain. They'll show her comments at the start of episode 20. In the post nomination reaction bit, but in this immediate end of the episode for 19, she's in the diary room and she makes like a modified version of one of her comments, because the common theme in this house is I don't think these people realize how much we see and how much the edit does not give a shit and will put your shit on blast if you're certain people. Other people, they won't. We'll get into that later. But she says Rachel is the same person she was 15 years ago. Manipulative and predictable. Mind you, Mickey has not seen Rachel's seasons, either one, 12 or 13. So she don't know who the fuck Rachel was 15 years ago. But this was the modified version, because we heard the real version on the feeds, and now getting into episode 20, they put her full comment in there that she probably thought she was slick and didn't think they would put in there. But let me tell you, this week, the edit, they threw Mickey not only under the bus, they backed that bus up over her, ran it forward, back, forth. They ran her under that bus again and again. They were not playing with her this week. It was crazy. I was like, God, they're killing her. But yeah, her full comment that she makes about Rachel, similar. As in, you know, she's not the same person. She's the same person she was 15 years ago, but she left out that she's nasty, manipulative, conniving. Having 2 kids and husband doesn't make you a better person. When the fuck did Rachel say that? Rachel didn't say any of that. This is projection. She's projecting hard. But and she seems to think that Rachel is intimidated of her, afraid of her. That Rachel sees that everybody is swarming around Mickey because Mickey is genuine and not fake like Rachel. Mickey girl. Delusion. Fantasyland. In her own world. I don't know where she's coming up with this. Because nobody is swarming around Mickey. Mickey has been rubbing everybody the wrong way for a hot minute. And Mickey is deeply confused. She's sobbing. She's crying to, like, Will and Ashley and Ava. She's like, why would she do this? I can't believe this. And Mickey and Ava are like, hello? Are you kidding me? They're like, obviously she's coming after you because you're targeting her as well. But they don't say this to Mickey's face. They're like, yeah, that's crazy. Why would... That's crazy. But, like, everybody else. They're like, get a grip. She just took the shot first. The shot that you were going to take. That's Big Brother. Mickey's also upset because Kelly again, has something to say always. When after Mickey's nominated, hugs Mickey and says, "Welcome to the party." Why would you say that, girl? Yeah, but Mickey's pretty upset because it's really funny, honestly. But like, so crazy to say to somebody, "Welcome to the block. Welcome to the party." Incredible work. Yeah. Mickey is not getting it. Mickey's not getting it at all. Why she's up? She's very confused, very shocked. I can't believe Rachel would do this to me. She's drawn a line in the sand, ma'am. Drawn a line in the sand. That line was drawn weeks ago, whether you like it or not. That's Big Brother. Even the allies she's talking to, like I said, Ava, Ashley, Will, they're like, they understand. They're not happy about it because they do want to keep working with Mickey, even though she's delusional. But they're like, we get it. Makes sense to me. Handling the block a lot better. It's Morgan. Morgan has a conversation with Rachel, and she's just straight up about it. She's like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not afraid. I'm not scared of Rachel. I'm not trying to cover my own ass. She's like, I'm a sweet girl. And she's like, yeah, I get it. It's a game. She's not taking it personal. And she's like, yeah, I know. It makes sense for you to put me up because honestly, if I had won, I would have put you up. Rachel's like, why would you say that to me? Glad you confirmed it, though. But yeah, at least I think that's something that Rachel, even though she's like, I can't believe she said it to me. Like, she confessed that she would have put me up. Rachel's a very straightforward player. Because Rachel actually knows Big Brother and she has respect for the game and for the players in it. So she's gonna be like straight up, like, listen, this is what's going on. So Morgan is kind of meeting her there. Like, listen, I get it. You put me up, I would have put you up. Fair. Even though she was emotional in the diary room, probably mostly because she was also nominated next to Vince and Mickey, who were her two, like, besties in the house at the time. She's like, we were going after her, so it makes sense. Which I understand. In classic Big Brother, if there were, actually alliance, oh my god, if there were, proper alliances and structures like there usually is, you would get it. You're like, yeah, we're on opposite sides of the house. I'm coming after you. You're coming after me. This house has the scraps of a structure at this point. But the lines are starting to become a lot more clear. Which other people are aware of as well. Lauren, for example. Lauren is talking with Kelly as well, and she realizes, this is kind of the line in the sand as well. Mickey Morgan Vince on the block. Lauren is not an idiot. Lauren does have pretty good game sense, even though she's not the most strong-willed player out there. But she does have a good enough sense to know that she's probably the renom, and which is correct. Rachel would, if somebody comes down, Rachel at this point is looking to put up Lauren. Obviously, she's close. Everybody knows she's close with Vince after Lauren's HOH, where Vince was practically coached her almost the whole way through. And that puts her more on the side as well with Mickey and Morgan, since they're close with Vince. It's kind of like a clump. Even though I don't know if Lauren was really... I don't think Lauren would go to bat. I don't think she would go to bat at all for Mickey. Morgan, maybe. Partially because of the Vince thing. But neither here nor there. I think Rachel's main goal is probably knocking down Vince a little bit. But, of course, she's talking to Kelly, and Kelly's like, well, everybody's going to be nominated at some point. Again, crazy-ass Kelly. Mickey. Still does not taking any of the blame onto herself, still kind of pointing everything towards Rachel, like, Rachel really drew this line. We were cool. We were good. Me and Rachel were good, and now she put me up. You were not good. I don't know why you thought you were good. You were not good since you sent Jimmy home. Since you put Jimmy on the block, you were not good. Even in Mickey's conversations with Rachel later on in the episode, before the veto, she still, like, doesn't get it. She's like, Rachel's scared of me. Rachel's not scared of you. She's Rachel Riley. Rachel does realize Mickey's not, like, her biggest issue. She does tell Mickey, like, listen, I don't want it to be Rachel versus Mickey for the rest of the summer, because that's not what I'm interested in. But she knows Mickey's coming after her. She's not stupid. She's not going to let that, just slide by. She also mentions Big Brother 12. How it was always her and Brendan versus Matt Hoffman. They would just put each other up back and forth every week. And then that just let Lane, Enzo, and Hayden just slide on through, let the brigade on through to the end. She's like, that's just not going to help us. So I'm not doing that again. So get a grip. Welcome to Big Brother. Because she realizes, like, if you make things like a battle, I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this correctly. if it becomes a war of Rachel versus Mickey, they're just going to keep putting each other up again and again and again and again and again. And it's going to let people kind of slide on through. And all of a sudden you're in the end game with a bunch of people. You're like, how the hell did they get here? Because you just ate each other up. And the middle people kind of just coast on. And so Rachel doesn't want that again. She's like, no, thank you. But Mickey has no sense. Mickey is not in reality. Mickey's in her own little world. She's in Disney World. she's in the clubhouse in her mind. Oh my god. Yeah. Now, the edit this week really is burying Mickey. They're putting her on blast. They're putting all her delusions, her comments, everything. You know who they're not putting on blast? Because we're going to sit through another bullshit nonsense segment of this. Riley and Catherine. Ugh. I just don't even like talking about them. Because it makes me so mad. And I'm trying to not go into this pissed off. I think if you exist online in the Big Brother community, you pretty much... Oops. I muted myself. You pretty much are aware of Riley's behavior and treatment towards Catherine. It's not good. It's really bad, actually. He pretty much treats her like a sack of shit. Like, she's just... I don't even know. Like, she's just there for his entertainment, and she has to do whatever he wants whenever he wants to. It's gross. The way he talks to her is gross. The way he yells at her, gross. Does the edit show any of that? No. Because why would they? Because that would make too much sense. Because that would make them have to put themselves on blast and that they cast this dumbass. So they're very willing to run the bus over Mickey. But not Riley. Riley, no. They get cute little showmance edits. And then the segment this week where it was like, where he's like, I don't think Catherine likes me that much. And Catherine's like, I just move slow in relationships. Also, we're on TV. And he's like, I don't know if she likes me. I don't give a shit. First of all, I couldn't care less. Don't care. I don't care about that man's feelings, his thoughts, his opinions, him. Period. Point blank. The fact that they're just they continuously tried to paint this relationship like it was some cute little magical little showmance with no issues is fucking stupid. Honestly, gross. It's really gross. Like, it's so... Oh my god. It's just like bullshit. It's just like straight up bullshit. It's so dangerous. Like, the way he's like berated her, yelled at her, made her like he's literally like been like, she's mad at him and he's like, you need to come kiss me right now. Kiss me, I'll give me a hug. Why don't you let me sleep in your bed? Throwing a temper tantrum. You're a grown ass man. Are you 12? Even then, not fucking cool at all. It's gross. It's gross. This poor girl. Like, I feel bad too. Because Catherine, especially, has mentioned on the feeds. They haven't shown this in the episode at all. But she has mentioned this to most people on the feeds. I don't know if she's mentioned this to Riley. He probably already knows. whatever. I don't pay attention to them when they were on the feeds. I just don't. I would be like, no, I can't with these two. But Catherine, within the past year, just not even like in like recent years, year singular, has lost her mother and both of her grandparents. That's, she's 23. That's so like like such a big like just like adjustment to life itself, like traumatic. I don't know, I don't know all the details of her life. I don't know like how her mother passed or her grandparents. I don't know if there's like illness, accident. I don't know. But to be 23 and to lose that many people within like a span of a year, especially like I believe her grandfather was very recently before Big Brother. She got on Big Brother. It's such, it just so affects your mind and your perspective. Like she's probably in such like she's still in like so much grief. I'm sure. So she's already like kind of like in like a weakened mindset, and for Riley to be treating her like this and kind of latching onto her, it's very easy for him to gain like control over her, to make her feel like he's right, she's wrong, shut up. You know what I mean? And so it's she's just so vulnerable at this state in her life. Excuse me. This is like the worst moment I've done that. Anyways, this is not funny. This is actually very serious. But it's just, it's gross. It's like the best way I can say it politely. It's gross. It's fucking horrible. He's made her, he's like warping her mind that to think this is like fine. And he's like, I'm gonna marry you whether you like it or not. If a man said that to me, I'd knock him on his ass. Obviously, this is my brother, you can't put your hands on somebody. But he has definitely been escalating as she gives in more and more to him. Because for a while it was like he was pushing. Why can't I sleep in your bed? Why can't I sleep in your bed? Why won't you kiss me? Why won't you do this? Da 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 da. And when she does start to give in, it's more and it's more and it's more, and it would keep going more and more and more and more. And it's just no interference from Big Brother themselves. No, not like I get how they couldn't hurt. Like Taylor Hale mentioned this on RHGP, which episode she was on, for one of the recaps, how it's hard because it's the culture of the house. If Catherine, obviously they can't really interfere unless probably Catherine herself is having issue, or people in the house are like, hey, this is an issue. But Riley is good at masking them. Every person who has left that has made a comment about this, like Jimmy, Zach, none of them were aware of Riley's behavior. They all thought, in the house, they all thought Riley was like AFP. And us out here are like, are you crazy? But he is able to hide so much of that from them that they don't realize there's an issue. They just think it's, oh, that was a cute little showmance. So as Taylor said, like, it's, Big Brother really can't interfere if nobody, the house is seeing this as okay. There's just no complaint to anybody in the house. Catherine hasn't complained. Nobody's made it in the other, like, anybody else in the house has made, like, hey, like, this is concerning, because they don't really see it. They don't see it like we're seeing it 24/7 on live feeds. But I think, so I get, like, why they can't interfere in that sense, but to continuously portray it on the edits as, like, some cute little magical, like, oh, it's so cute, oh, wow, romance music is ridiculous. It's ridiculous, and it was gross, and it was disgusting, and I hated it. It was just pure bullshit. Like, especially because they've had, like, multiple arguments, but they will not show any of that. They will only show, like, the good moments, or the moments that are, like, cast kind of, I guess, doubt negatively within the relationship onto, like, Catherine. Like, how he's like, I don't think she likes me that much. How about you're the worst? That's a good thing we should show in the episode, but they won't do that. They won't do that. Which is why I try not to talk about them too, because it skeeves me out. It really does. That's my rant, because every time they edit, like, they come up on the episode, I'm just like, oh god, here we go again. Here we go. What nonsense is this time? But if you know how this week goes, we won't have to worry about that anymore. But we'll get to that in a little bit. Because getting back on track, we're teeing up for the veto. Our veto draw, at the very least. And Vince is looking at Lauren. He's talking to her like, hey, if you get picked, will you use it on me? And Lauren, queen of indecision, is like, I don't know. Well, yeah, I'll see. We'll see. I don't know. Lauren is at a war of wanting to keep Vince safe, keep herself safe, but she's also so afraid of Rachel Riley. And Lauren is allergic to decision making. But, thank God she won't have to make a decision this week, right? Wrong. Because we do the veto draw. And who gets picked? Will and Lauren. And Lauren's like, oh boy. Because she's like, Vince is my final two, but if I save him, I think it's going to show my cards to everybody. I think people clocked that shit when you were HOH, Lauren, but okay. And then Nikki is also living in delusion and is like, oh, Vince will save me. I mean, not Vince, excuse me, Will save me. Well, I guess he does say that he will, but I don't know if he actually would have. But she does think Will would save her. And at least that's probably, I guess, more grounded because she is kind of working with Will as well. Kind of, even though he's like, eh. But anyways. Lauren's indecision making, inability to make a decision is pretty big. She notorious after her HOH was like, if you saw her HOH, you know. She is at war in her own mind of like, what am I gonna do? I don't know. Down to the wire. So Morgan and Vince are definitely concerned. They're like, yeah, she can't really make a decision. So we're gonna have to put in some work depending on how this veto goes. But we get into veto. It's Otev. This year it's the Hogfather. He's a big old pig in a suit. Obviously, Godfather. And they have like a little pig, a little stinky. Shit. Honestly, loved it. I thought it was really funny. Either they didn't make the backyard. Again, they just made like a farm. I think they probably did more with the Godfather. Also, don't know how. I guess like Godfather, like Mafia, goes with the hotel mystere thing. But honestly, they're doing their classic reward thing where they just have thrown the theme to the wind. When was the last time we saw the Mastermind? I don't know. But yeah. Not really sure how that ties in, but it's Big Brother. They go out there. Obviously, Vincent, Lauren, and Rachel are super... I mean, they're all pretty excited, but obviously the super fans, Rachel, Vince, and Lauren, are really stoked that they get to play in OTEV. Obviously, I don't think I need to explain OTEV, If you don't know how OTEV works, where are you living? But I'll TLDR. OTEV will ask them a question every round. They have to go down the big old ramp to go dig through all the shit in the backyard to find the right name, the right answers to the question. Because it's not always one name. Sometimes it's like, they do this a little differently every time. Sometimes they have to go find the pieces with the names on it. Sometimes it'll just be one piece with two names. Sometimes it'll be multiple pieces. They have to, find two. This time, it was individual names on the rats. They had to get the rats out of the farmyard for they had to get the rats for the Hogfather. But they had, it was different rounds. Some rounds they just needed one rat. Some rounds they needed two. Fun. Mix it up a little bit. Now, last year's OTEV, if you remember, was one round. Which, when I found that out last year, I didn't even know OTEV couldn't go the full 5 rounds. I thought it always did, because it always had. So imagine our surprise last year when it was 1 round. And this year, we're on the up and up. Kind of. Because round 1, They have to find the 2 rats of the evicted house guests that were both evicted with 9 votes. And that is Jimmy and Zay. They're digging. I don't think anybody does this. Not that we can see on the episode. The strategy for OTEV is to... The common sense strategy, again, the theme of this year, no common sense, is to find pieces. Obviously, you're looking for the piece that you need for the question, but to also create a pile of the names that you need. So instead of having to constantly dig through all the shit in the backyard, you just go to your little stash and be like, do I have the name? It's right here. I can go back up. Because part of OTEV is not only getting the question correct, you have to be there fast. Because every round, there's little stools lined up. One less stool every round. So if everybody's correct because the last one up there, you're done. Which is usually how people get out. But yeah. So nobody does that. Not that we can see anyways, because in further rounds they can't find pieces that they're looking for because they didn't make a stockpile. When we go through the first round, obviously the answer is Jimmy and Zay. Will is the first one out because he grabbed Adrian's name instead. Obviously wrong. Round 2 is they had only 1 rat this time. The only pre-juror that won the BB Blockbuster, which is Adrian. And these people did not stockpile it. They're all digging around trying to find Adrian. I'm like, dude. It's like the number one thing for OTEV. Like the OTEV strat is make a pile. But I guess this round I think they did OTEV a little bit. No, they did OTEV in jury last time. I believe they did it the first week of jury, was it? Because that was... I'm trying to think. Was that the week Quinn went out? Because Mackenzie won the veto last year. That might have been the week Quinn went out the first week of jury. I may be wrong about that. But, anyways. It was definitely earlier this season. So there wasn't as many pre-juror names. So they did Adrian. Adrian was the answer for this round. Vince is out. He's the last one up. They all get the answer right, just Vince was the last one up. Because he couldn't find Adrian, because he was tossing him aside last time and didn't think to save one. But for round 3, the question is to get the 2 rats who were evicted on a time when Kelly had won the Blockbuster, which she had won 2 times. It's Zay and Adrian again, so they have to get Zay again and Adrian again. So a lot of just the same people over and over. I don't know why they did OTEV this early, if they're just going to have the same names. Like, literally, it was Jimmy, Zay, Adrian. The only 3 names they used. Obviously, as I said, we're on the up and up with OTEV rounds. There might have been more names for future rounds, but we didn't get that far. Spoiler alert. Because people cannot find Adrian. I think they said on the feed that a lot of them just kind of gave up. I forget which round. I don't remember, honestly. Morgan at one point goes up, because Lauren was very quick in every round. Lauren was up fast. I wouldn't be surprised if Lauren did the strat of the pile, because she was up there every round very fast. At one point, Morgan goes up. I can't remember which round it was, and she has the wrong answer. She has to slide back down and find it. But at this point, nobody's finding shit. Was it... I believe Rachel was wrong, and one of Mickey and Morgan was wrong. I don't remember. I watched this yesterday. Anything I remember? No. So Mickey, Morgan, and Rachel are all out. And Lauren, congratulations, superfan. You won OTEV. It went 3 rounds this time, guys. We're heading back up. We're going back up to 5 rounds. We're making it there. Maybe 28, we'll probably get back to 5 rounds. I hope. We better. Because these questions were not hard. Honestly, the 1 round question last year was not that hard. These people just don't think. But we're on the up and up. Lauren's stoked. I would be happy too if I was a super fan. She's probably like the biggest super fan of the house because she's actually seen the show. I mean, Vince has, but he hasn't seen anything before 16. Which, you're a super fan, you haven't rewatched, you haven't gone back? Like, I started at 14. I remember the 14, but I went back and watched them. You didn't. Crazy. And I was a child. You're a grown-ass man. Whatever. But regardless, Lauren's super happy. Because, I forgot to mention, before round 3, when it's just Rachel, Lauren, Mickey, and Morgan left, they're kneeling in front of Otev. Mickey. Oh, Mickey. Mickey looks at Lauren and is like, are you going to use the veto? And Lauren's like, Lauren, obviously, queen of indecision, is like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know. And Mickey says, well, if we're not going to use it, just, why do you need to win? Don't win it. Let one of us win. Saying this during the comp is crazy. I heard she said that, and I thought it was before, like in between the veto draw and the competition. She said it mid-comp, like... And Lauren's like, no, I'm the renom option. Why would I do that? Why would I throw it so my ass can go on the block? Which, thank you, Lauren. Logic, common sense. Unlike some people who want to throw comps even though they're in danger. Lauren's like, no, I'm not going home, thank you very much. So obviously, Lauren does not throw it, does not let Mickey and Morgan win. Even though they weren't even right to begin with, or no Tev, so they win the one anyways. But yeah, Lauren wins. Oh boy. Lauren. Now everybody knows Lauren is indecisive. And Rachel's very aware of this as well. Rachel realizes pretty quickly that the pressure is going to be on. Mickey, Morgan, and Vince are definitely going to be putting the pressure on Lauren to use it on them. Especially Vince and Morgan, who are a lot closer to Lauren than Mickey is. And she's correct. They are definitely wanting her to use that veto. In fact, Rachel's goal is to make sure they don't even get to speak to Lauren. So, multiple times in this episode, she cuts them off. Morgan's talking to Lauren by the pool. Mickey's trying to talk to her in the wine room. Lauren and Vince are talking like in the room. Wherever Lauren is, Rachel's like, I'm on her ass. She's not going to get to talk to these people. And here comes Rachel every time. She's like, oh, hey, guys, how do you do this thing? Hey, Morgan, what was this place again? I love Rachel. She's like, I don't care. You're not using it. You're not getting the chance to influence her. Also because she has this to Lauren as well. She's like, you're a grown-ass woman. You could do what you want. You don't need to listen to these people. And even on their one-on-one today. The episode. Oh, Jesus. She tells Lauren, like, it's your veto. Do what you want. It's up to you. Ultimately, the decision's up to you. Rachel's like, I don't want to push her. Because she knows Lauren's young. She's very indecisive. She's very like, oh, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to do. She's like, if I push her, she's just gonna do the opposite. So I'm just gonna let her breathe. And I'm gonna tell you, you're an adult. You're strong. You're smart. It's up to you. Even though obviously Rachel doesn't want her to use it, but she's not gonna be like, don't use it or else. I don't think the rest will get far with Lauren, as we will soon find out. But, nevertheless, they persist. Mickey and Morgan and Lauren and Vince, are still trying to get Lauren to use this veto. And Morgan, she's like, I gotta pull all the punches here. Sits Lauren down and tells her very emotionally, tears in her eyes, choked up, Lauren, Zach could have stayed. Zach could have taken himself off the block. His 10K that he won was actually a power. He could have given the HOH his money and he could have taken himself off the block. But he knew we would be in danger if we did, so he sacrificed his game for us. Lauren is like, damn, that's crazy. She tells Lauren that. Lauren's like, oh, that's crazy, but I'm still not probably using it on Morgan. She's like, well, I'm still gonna probably take Vince down, maybe. So, I mean, she's like, if that, and she's like, if that's true. She's like, she didn't even believe Morgan. I don't even know. I don't even know if she fully believes Morgan on that. Because she's kind of like, oh, if that's true. Doesn't even work. I mean, they're really trying this week. Lauren is just so. I believe she said. I think was it. I know she said this on Saturday or she said it on Sunday that she was gonna have one-on-ones that like talk to everybody, but then didn't do them until like late Sunday night. And I'm like, Lauren, you of all people need more time because you can't make a decision. She had like for her HOH, she had all weekend to figure out the renom. Instead, the cameras shut off, the feeds turned off, and she still wasn't sure what the hell she was gonna do. So putting herself in a time crunch was not the right move here. But anyways, she does have some conversation. She does talk to Rachel, and she tells her like, I still don't know what I'm gonna do. I may use it, I don't know, but I would let you know, obviously, ahead of time, because obviously Rachel needs to figure out a renom. Rachel tells her, because I don't know who I'm gonna renom. That's what Rachel tells her. Because her renom plan was Lauren, but Lauren won the veto. Can't put her up. So, they're still working on Lauren. There's a conversation with Vince and Morgan in the storage room that Lauren walks in on, and they're talking there. And Rachel walks in and is like, what's going on in here? And they're like, they literally look like deer in headlights when she walks in. They're like, hey, Rachel. It's really funny, honestly, because they definitely were not prepared for her to walk into this conversation. Even though Lauren walked in, it wasn't really like they pulled Lauren in. She kind of just came in herself into the storage room. But they're like, oh, we were just kind of discussing what might happen with DeVito. I don't know. And Rachel's like, well, what are we thinking? It's so funny, honestly. I love Rachel. She's great. And she's like, well, Lauren, I really hope you're, don't let other people tell you what you need to do. And when Lauren leaves, she's like, so Vince and Morgan, she's like, real classy guys, and like walks out, and Vince and Morgan like, what did we do? We were just talking. We didn't bring her in, or she came in on herself. Da, 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 da. And they're like, why is Rachel trying to make us seem like bullies? Girl, did she say that? No, she did say that. I mean, she did kind of say they were that they were trying to be like manipulating like Lauren, but I don't even know if Lauren is capable of being manipulated, honestly, because Lauren probably couldn't even decide between options if she was being manipulated. I don't think manipulated is the right word for it. She definitely can be very influenced. I think she just wants to be influenced. Like, remember her HOH, she just was begging Vince to tell her what to do. So I guess that's not really manipulated. She just wants people to, she just doesn't want to be the one making decisions, even though she keeps winning power. It's the problem, is that people just want the safety, but then they don't want the power that goes with it, and then they get the power in their hands, and they're like, oh, what do I do with this? I think that's Lauren's, like, kind of issue, is that she just doesn't want the power. I don't know with Lauren. I don't know why she was gunning for this veto when she was HOH, and it was, like, enough of a fight just for her to make up her mind. Once again, she has to make up her mind about using something or not. To the point where she does, like, tell Rachel, she told Rachel previously that, I don't know, I'll let you know. I'm gonna sleep on it. I'm gonna think about it. We'll figure it out. Lauren, once again, indecisive is probably her middle name, whether she likes it or not. 30 goddamn minutes before the veto meeting, and she still has not made up her mind. Deja vu to the last time she was in power. Right before the veto meeting, couldn't make up her mind. She goes to talk to Rachel, and Rachel pretty much gets her, because Rachel's like, hey, what the fuck are you doing with this veto? You haven't told me. And Lauren's like, I think I'm leaning towards using it. I don't know. And Rachel's like, well, it would have been nice if you had told me this and made a decision earlier, because I haven't really talked to anybody about renoms. She hasn't talked to anybody, but like, you know, when you want to do renoms, you have conversations with people. Like, because you have to consider who your renoms are going to be, and you talk to people, and they give you can use that to get some information from people. You know, one-on-ones. It's one-on-ones, obviously. So Rachel hasn't done any because Lauren hadn't made up her mind. Because Lauren. And Rachel's like, well, I don't know what my renoms are going to be then because you haven't told me anything. Maybe it's going to be one of your allies. I don't know. Lauren panicking. Lauren's like, oh, yeah. Because at this point, they're up in the HOH room. And Lauren in the bathroom. And Lauren's like trying to get ready for the meeting that's happening in 20 minutes. And she's like, oh, let me get my moisturizer downstairs. And just runs downstairs to talk to Vince. Because once again, like deja vu again, to her HOH, she has to get Vince's opinion. She has to have Vince's words or she might blow up. She has to talk to Vince. And she's like, I don't know. I don't know if I should use it. I don't know. Rachel said she's going to put up one of my allies if I use it. And now this is the most egregious thing that I have ever heard in my life, what I'm about to say. Because she says, you know, I think... No, actually. Not I think. I'm pretty sure Rachel's bluffing. Rachel says she's going to put up one of my allies as the renom. I think she's bluffing. Vince is like, she's probably bluffing. She's like, that's not the truth. I don't think she's going to do that. You think Rachel Riley is bluffing? Rachel fucking Riley, are you out of your mind? You have to be some kind of stupid to think Rachel Riley is bluffing to you. Rachel Riley, who is very straightforward, and she didn't even say it in like a roundabout way. She said it pretty direct. She's like, it might be one of your allies. That's not a bluff. That's straight up. These are the super fans of the house, by the way. The bar is in hell for the label super fan. Let me tell you, if you have no, oh my god, I don't even know what to say to this. It's just like when after the video meeting we got this information, I was like, you're kidding me, right? You think, right? I personally, I have not lived in a house and played Big Brother with Rachel Riley, but even I know that makes no fucking sense. Now, Lauren runs back upstairs, because Rachel comes down at this point, and Lauren hears her, and she's like, she's coming. Like Jaws, or something. They edit, like a serial killer, like, music, like Rachel, like, walking around, waiting for Lauren, and starting to come down. So she's like, I can't be seen with you, and she, like, runs to the bathroom. And they don't show all of these in the episode, but she did have some conversations prior to this over, like, between Sunday night into this Monday morning, where she talked with Keanu, who said, I can't even remember what Keanu said, if she should use it or not. He might have said to use it, honestly, I don't recall. But she had a conversation with Catherine, and Catherine told her, don't use it. Don't use it. And Catherine's making points, like, you want to use it on Vince. Vince is not in danger of going home. Vince definitely has the votes to stay, which was correct. I don't think Vince would have gone home this week. Even if it was sitting next to Mickey or Morgan, I think one of them would have gone home. Now, Catherine was putting all his work, telling her, don't use it, don't use it, don't use it. And schmucko, here comes Riley. I just use it. Use it. Just take Vince down. Use it. So now Lauren's in the bathroom again, getting her moisturizer. And Catherine's like, I don't know, I don't think you should use it. I really, really don't think you should use it. I'm telling you, it'd be a bad idea to use it. I think you should just leave it as it is, and Vince is not going to go home. Obviously, at this point, Lauren has to go back up to Rachel to continue talking because, again, no decision has been made officially. They don't show this in the episode. They cut it down. like several minutes of silence of Lauren just kind of, and Rachel just kind of like a standoff, like. But Lauren's like, Rachel, I think I'm gonna use it. I think I'm gonna use it. Rachel's like, don't use it. Rachel at this point is like, this girl is stupid because what the hell? Clearly I have to be more direct with her because she's not getting it. And she's like, okay, fine. If you use it, I'm putting up Riley. Because she had talked to Ashley the night before and said, these people are driving me nuts. Lauren's not telling me a clear answer. I don't even know if I have who I'm going to put up a read on, if I had to put up a read on, because Lauren is giving me nothing. And she told Ashley, like, if you know what, if I have to put somebody up, I'm going big. I'm blowing this house up. I'm taking a big shot. And she tells Lauren, I'm putting up Riley. I'm putting Riley up. Now, when they replay this conversation later on, when Lauren is telling people about this, she does not fess up to the fact that Rachel told her that Riley was going up. She doesn't admit to it. Then eventually she does. But she says the same thing she's going to say here. I thought she was bluffing. I didn't think she was actually going to do this. Sure, girl. Sure. Rachel's bluffing. Rachel says to your face, this is not, mind you, it's one thing if she thought she wasn't, like, being serious. She thought she was bluffing. And this is, like, Saturday, like, right, like, their first conversation after the veto's used. After Lauren wins veto. It's another thing to think she's bluffing 10 minutes before the veto meeting happens. That's not a bluff. That's just her telling you what the fuck's gonna happen. But Lauren's not believing it. No. It's a bluff. It's a bluff. Rachel Riley's bluffing to me. So we get into the veto meeting, and Lauren stands there and shivering under boots. She uses the veto on Vince. And Rachel is looking at her like burning a hole through her head. Rachel is staring her down from the couch. So obviously, Vince comes down. Rachel has to get up and name the renom. And she gives a speech about how in every season, there's a turning point in every season where you have to start making moves. You have to start doing... This is your shot to make a move and make a big one. And she's something great where she's standing there like, so. And she gives Lauren the death glare. She's like the evil eye to Lauren. Like, with her head, like, it's really funny. And she goes, Riley, take a seat. She said it really quick. Riley, take a seat. And shock everywhere. Jaws drop. Kelly, Ava, Catherine looks distraught. Everybody's like... And she's like, listen, I'm sorry. It had to be you. But, well, sorry. Lauren chose Vince. And I'm like, let me tell you something. The highlight of the season for me. I was like, yes! If she was gonna be stupid and take down Vince and think Rachel was bullshitting her. And Rachel will tell this to Kiana that she's like, I told Lauren, fuck around, find out. And fuck around, find out, she did. So Riley is now on the block. And Rachel is like, listen, any of my 3 nominees here, I'm fine with going home. It's a big move anyways. And she's right. Honestly, I mean, obviously, when you have big targets on the block, there's better people to go home over others. But this, Mickey, Morgan, or Riley, very good. Very, very good options for Rachel. Because at this point, all of them are coming after her. All of them are not working with her. They don't like her ass. More Mickey and Riley. I think Morgan does like Rachel. But the other two, they don't like Rachel. I don't think, I mean, I don't remember. Riley, that's not right. Rachel, that's right. But yeah, pretty, very solid noms. Now at this point, we are getting now into our live eviction episode. Best episode of the season! We'll get there. But for now, we're back at the veto meeting, the end of it. Shock, emotion. Nobody's happy. People are upset. People can't believe it. Riley's acting way too calm. I know he's mad. And he is mad. He is on the feeds. He's ripping piss. On the episode, he's like, "Oh, bummer." I know what you are, motherfucker. Anyways. Okay, Riley, whatever you say. I don't care. But yeah. That aside. Lauren is upset. Kiana's upset. Kelly's upset. Everybody's upset. Catherine is very pissed. Lauren is like crying and like emotional in the storage room. Kelly's trying to comfort her, and Catherine just storms in. She's like, "Why did you use it?" She's like, "I told you not to use it. Why did you use it?" And they're like, "Oh, he has the votes to stay. He's not gonna go home. He's fine." Meanwhile, Rachel will actually upstairs like, "Well, pretty solid week to me." Now, they don't show this. They don't show a lot of this in the episode because it was tomfoolery. Kelly is mad that Riley was put up. She's like, "Why didn't you put me up? Your ass would be grass if you were on the block at the end of this week." Genuinely, Kelly was upset this week that she was not nominated. I just had to add that in because it was so stupid. And I was like, "Girl, you can't be serious." Okay, Kelly, whatever you say. But yeah, people aren't happy with Rachel, even though this is a good move for Rachel. This is just... Now, I just want to say, before, obviously, on the live episodes, there's not as much of an edited segment. It's a lot shorter because obviously we have to get through, the blockbuster, the vote, the exit interviews, all of that. You can definitely tell where the editors thought this week was going to go, because a lot of this section is pretty much running the bus over Mickey again. They are very confident that Mickey's ass is grass this week, because it's really focused on, I would say, in my opinion, Mickey's downfall. There's, the collapse of the Mickey and Morgan relationship officially. Morgan realizes that Mickey doesn't really value her as an ally. She realizes she has no real reason to trust Mickey. Mickey is doing her fucking M&M thing that they did all week. She did all week with so many people, laying her whole game out, her and the damn M&Ms. And Morgan walks into her doing it with Catherine, and she's like, "What the hell? We do that about our games together, our combined games. So why is she doing that with everybody else? Clearly, I'm not shit then, if she's doing it with everybody else." And obviously, a lot of people are feeling this way. Ashley, Will, not really trusting her anymore, especially because Mickey makes multiple comments this episode, and in the episode they show it, with Ashley, about how, "Oh, Ashley, you're spending a lot of time up in Rachel's HOH room, more than you spent in my HOH room when I was HOH, in front of Catherine and Riley." And Ashley's like, "Why the fuck is she saying that in front of them? Are you kidding me?" So she's just really pissing people off, and they're starting to be sick of her shit as an ally and as someone living in the house. Like I said, this edit burying Mickey, not burying the cowboy. Mickey. Does she deserve it? Yes, but we have time to do both. You could dabble in both people. That's fine. But yeah, this evidence was definitely leaning more towards, like, they were very confident Mickey was going home this week. We also get Vince, now that he's off the block, talking with Kelly. And Kelly's like, "Wow, I didn't know you and Lauren were that close. She used to view on you." He's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh, well, we're close. We're not that close, We're good. We're not that good." Because once again, Vince gotta play the middle. Gotta play the middle. And they do kind of a funny segment where Vince realizes he has more final twos than he's realized. He forgot until Kelly mentions it here that they have a final two. He remembers mid-diary room that he has a final two with Riley. He pretty much promises every single person on the block this week that they have his vote and that they're safe with him. That definitely won't come into play this week. Vince is definitely not the swing vote this week. But yeah, he is. Spoiler alert, he is the swing vote this week. Him and Ava. But I'll get into that in a moment because we have an alliance. I know, shocking. Big Brother 25 has an alliance. Very rare. Very rare occurrence here. An alliance of more than 2 people. Real, I know. It's pretty much gathered out of the annoyance from Mickey. We get Rachel, Morgan, Will, Ashley are like, listen, we need to do something together because we don't want Morgan going home. Mickey's driving us nuts. Riley is Riley on the other side of the house. Because at this point, we definitely are starting to see the sides are forming. Obviously, there's still some like little middle grounds, but as this week has been going on, the sides are definitely starting to lock in a lot more. At least noticeably to them. So like we need to lock something in. And then they bring Vince in as well. They go get Vince, bring him in. They're like, the 5 of us need to lock something in together. Plus, that would be a voting block because this week you need 5 votes to evict. Even though obviously Rachel can't vote, she's the HOH, and there's no chance of a tie this week. And working on the block, but that's neither here nor there. So they actually make an alliance. The judges. Alliance! Like, thank God. At least somebody's making an alliance, because it drives me nuts that they don't make any. These people are just loosey-goosey this year. Loosey-goosey. No clear structure at all or anything. But yeah. So now they know, solidified that they have the votes to keep Morgan. Not Morgan. Yes. I mean, oh my God. I'm sorry. I'm like out of it a little bit here. Yes. So that they would have, a large voting block. They would just need Ava's vote as well, depending. They're like, yeah, and also they want to keep Morgan safe, even though they don't know how the block is going to go. They're like, we'll have numbers to keep her, depending on who she's against. But obviously their main goal is to get out Mickey and Riley. If it's Riley versus Mickey, they'll keep Mickey. If it's Mickey versus Morgan, bon voyage, Mickey. They said there was an option we didn't discuss there, because I don't think anybody considered this option. But we'll get there. When we get there. Which actually is no. Our baby blockbuster. Going into this, I'm sweating. Actually, no. Before we get into this, as I said, they discuss Ava. Ava's vote. They don't show any of this on the episode, but pretty much the votes for this week. Will, Ashley, Morgan. Them 3 were a lock to obviously send either Riley or Mickey home, depending on who's on the block. Vince was, even though he's forming signs with them, he was still kind of like swarming, as his little middle rat self would do. And Ava, oh boy. Ava, in her own little world. I love Ava, but girl, she did not want Mickey to leave. She didn't want Riley to, like. So, the conversations we had this week between Vince and Ava, I was sick to my stomach. Let me tell you. Everything was riding on them. And to be fair, at some points this week, it was a solid flip against Riley. Riley was going home. And we're like, oh my God, dreams do come true. But Vince and Ava this is riding on. Assuming it's, at this point, they're assuming Mickey versus Riley. They're Vince's worst case, he says, is if Mickey comes down. But these conversations, I can't even like fully explain it because they're just going in circles for like forever. Even it's just circles, 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 no decisions. To the point, it took so long of this conversation going in circles that they were like, "We'll talk about it tomorrow." Actually, we'll decide in the moment. We'll talk about it right before the vote. I was sick to my stomach. I was like, please, oh my God, I can't. I was going to this Blockbuster, sweating my ass off, sick to my stomach. I was like, if these two Boo the Fools don't vote the right way, I will reach this TV and kill them. I will go fully the ring. But we get into this Blockbuster, and it's a fucking crapshoot. Of all the blockbusters to make a crapshoot, they made this one the crapshoot. The one where we are the most anxious. I am begging to the gods above, for Morgan to win this. I know I've clowned Morgan all season. Not all season. But, Morgan can't win. Morgan hasn't won anything. No wins for Morgan. The way we all flipped, as is Big Brother tradition, we are so wishy-washy. Everybody on Earth was like, please let Morgan win this, please. And it's a crapshoot. It's the one, you know it. It's roll the ball down the little railing thing, fall off, numbers 1 through 40. You can, and land in a number. They had 2 minutes for the Blockbuster, 2 minutes to roll. Now, when the ball landed, they had an option where they can either, keep it, lock in their answer, or just keep re-rolling and toss that score aside. So I'm sick. I'm like, great. It's a crapshoot. Anything could happen here. Now, this is the most nonsense thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Like I said, 2 minutes to do this. 2 full-ass minutes. Scores are 1 through 40 they can land in. Within 15 seconds, Riley lands his ball in 29 and stops rolling. He doesn't lock in, but he just stops rolling, and he's just kind of wandering around, looking at Mickey and Morgan playing, but mostly focusing on Morgan's rolls. Even the episode barely shows Mickey playing. We just get mostly Riley kind of wandering, and then Morgan. Wandering. Rolling and rolling. Mickey, off screen, we don't even see her final rolls. But Morgan rolls, and it lands in 29 as well. Morgan goes and locks in the 29. With over a minute still on the clock, she locks in the 29. And at this point, the camera's been kind of focused on Morgan because Riley's not rolling. And I guess Mickey's had stopped. We don't know when Mickey landed and locked her ball in. Because when we get back to the wide shot of all 3 of them, Mickey's already locked in. Mickey has locked in a 38 out of 40. Now, obviously, I'm not blaming Morgan for... Their names are too similar. Same letter, same numbers, M names. Excuse me. Morgan, obviously locking her 29. I get her locking in, not knowing Mickey's score, because the way they're lined up is Mickey, Riley in the middle, Morgan on the other end. So Morgan can't see what Mickey's done, but she can see Riley's. I'm pretty sure. I think so. So she locked in 29. Over a minute left on the clock. Wide shot, Mickey's locked in with 38. Riley has not locked in yet. His ball has been in the 29 slot for 40 seconds at this point. What does Riley do? He just kind of wanders back over to his button and locks it in. And let me tell you something. I'm speechless. They are all locked in with a minute left. This is exactly what happened with the blockbuster between Adrian, Will, and Kelly. When they all locked in with, like, time to spare. When Will locked in his 16 for no reason and lost the blockbuster. I don't understand why you would lock in with a 29. Especially seeing that somebody else has a 29. And Riley can see Mickey has a 38. Locks in 29. Let me tell you something. That wide shot, when it cuts back to that wide shot and I see Mickey locking at 30, I was like, like, horror, dread. Immediately, my stomach drops to my toes. And I'm like, and when seeing Riley locking at 29, I was like, we're done. We're done, because obviously these idiots locked in lower scores, didn't try to re-roll for the other full minute that they had to re-roll. They locked in with an entire full minute left. So, you know, why we re-roll? We could just lock in our low numbers and lose. That's what they do. So Mickey wins the blockbuster, and I'm sick. This was the worst case scenario because Ava and Vince had still not solidified anything, but by the time the feeds went down for the episode, they were definitely leaning more towards keeping Riley. And I'm like, oh my god, this is the worst. The season is over. If we are stuck out of the end of this week with both Mickey and Riley still in this house, what the hell are we gonna do? Because it was just like, I was so horrified. I was like, we're done. The doom and gloom on my skyline was literally, it was just like, season's over. We're in the darkest timeline. This is the worst. I can't believe this. This sucks. Morgan doesn't deserve to go. Especially because it's Riley she's up against now. Riley, who is a loser. And I'll say it till I'll say it to his face. Loser. And we're like, oh my god, are you kidding me? It's just like, I couldn't even believe it. But when it cut to the wide shot of the blockbuster and Mickey had the 38, I was like, we're done. I mean, not that I wanted Riley to win it, but I was like, come on, dude. At least try. Put in some effort. No. And obviously this was a lot of people's worst case scenario, even in the house. Everybody wanted Mickey out. Mickey was like kind of like the main person that would have gone home. So when they come back in after the blockbuster and Julie has to announce that Mickey won, nobody moves. Nobody gets off the couch. It's like, oh, like a little like golf clapping. Nobody gives a fuck. But like, great, awesome. So they get, you know, their little strategy time, and they're actually strategizing. The bar is in hell. No, it's not just hugging and crying. Immediately, Vince and Ava go off to talk. I'm like, oh god. Like, seeing them together on the screen just made me sick. I was like, are you kidding? Mind you, this whole time I'm watching the episode, I'm like this. I'm stressed. I'm like this the entire time. Like, in horror. So Vince and Ava are talking. We can't really hear much because they're mumbling. And then at this point, Riley starts like loudly talking in the background. And then Rachel comes in immediately over to them. And is like, you need to keep Morgan. Please, you need to keep Morgan. You need to keep Morgan. And then we don't get to really see the end of their conversation as well, because they cut over to like everybody like hugging Riley on the couch holding like Catherine's hand. I'm like, I don't care. What are they doing? Like, it drove me nuts that we didn't need to cut to Catherine and Riley sitting on the couch in silence. I wanted to hear the end of the conversation with Vince and Ava. I literally was like about to kill them. And then we get like Vince and Keanu wander off, and then Julie's like, "Come sit back down." And we don't. And when we can even see part of that conversation, when we got to like kind of the end of it, where Vince tells Keanu, which I couldn't fully catch the first time I watched it. I had to like see the clip later and then rewatch the episode to fully. But he's like, Riley, I was told, I think he said Rachel might have told him that Riley was going to put up Keanu, and Keanu's like, she's lying, I don't buy that. And I'm like, oh my god, we're done. I'm like, it's over, we're cooked, game over, man. So I'm sick to my stomach. They do their speeches. I didn't even write them down. I didn't even bother making notes on those because it's always the same thing. Like, please keep me here if it's best for your game. I mean, Morgan was definitely more heartfelt. She was very emotional. Like, she wants to be here and play. Riley's main concern was just, like, not being here with Catherine. Even when he was put on the block, his diary room, he was like, well, if I go home, I'm not going to see Catherine all summer. Bummer. I don't care. You suck. But Morgan actually wants to play Big Brother. She's actually more, heartfelt in that sense. And now we get to the vote. At this point, I'm sick. I always count the votes during episodes like this, like live. I count like numbers as we're going. So I'm sitting there like this, nauseous. Mickey's the first one, and honestly, I've been running numbers this whole time. They're talking it of like, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? I didn't even consider Mickey's vote. I'm like, oh my, Mickey goes like, Mickey, you're first. I'm like, oh god, what the hell's Mickey gonna do? Because she's close with Morgan in her mind. But in her mind also, she loves Riley. She's all about Riley. She threw Jimmy out into the dirt for Riley and Catherine. I'm like, oh my god. What the hell are we gonna do? I'm like, oh god. But Mickey votes out Riley. And I'm like, okay, that's something. Okay. And then the only vote we get before the commercial break is Catherine. Which obviously was not a stressor vote. Obviously, she's going to vote out Morgan. She's not going to vote out Riley. We got the commercial break. I'm sick. I'm literally sitting here like this. It comes back from commercial break, and let me tell you something. I see Vince sitting in that dining room. I'm like, oh god. This is it. Honestly, even then, that might not have been the deciding vote, because Ava and Vince are not, like, conjoined twins. Like, if Vince could have voted one, Ava could have voted the other. So at this point, I'm sick. I'm like sitting there like this. Literally, I have like all my hair up. I'm literally like this. I'm like, oh god. I'm like trying to hide myself. I'm so sick. And then Vince, when he says, oh, I'm sorry, man. I'm like, could it be? Vince votes to evict Riley. And I'm clenching. I'm like, oh my god. Could it be? Could it be? Then we, Ashley's next. Will's next. They both vote to evict Riley, obviously, because they're not going to vote to evict Morgan. Will comes out, Ava. I'm sick. I'm like, oh my god. At this point, we're at 4 votes to evict Riley. Only need 5. I'm nauseous. Ava comes in. Ava sits there. She's making jokes. As if she doesn't know our entire season is dependent on this, and I'm about to vomit. She's like, are you sure I can't vote on Mickey? I'm like, Ava, I swear to god, cast your damn vote. And she's sitting there. She's like, I vote. She's very conflicted, and you could tell in the moment. I vote to evict. And she's like almost says more, and you see her kind of go like mouthing like, and she goes, I vote to evict Riley, and I don't even remember how I reacted. I just remember I was like, I couldn't even believe it. I think I gasped. I think I might have gasped there as well. I think I was like, oh my god. I'm like, wait. Oh my god. It's real. If you've been online, you've seen the videos of people cheering, screaming, party rocking. I don't give a shit about how anybody else votes. Because the war is over. We won. The rest of the Kelly, Lauren, Keanu all vote out Morgan. But it's for nothing. My skyline has taken a full 180. It's the best season ever, best episode ever. I love this cast. We've won. Because even though this week was rough, the last couple of days were rough with this vote, we didn't know where it was going to go, who we were going to turn to. We made it. The impossible happened. And Julie Chen, girl, you ate this up. She did the fake out. She hasn't done that. I can't remember the last time she did that. She does the fake out eviction vote. I love it. By a vote of 5-4, Morgan, you are safe. Riley, you've been evicted from the Big Brother house. And we win. Oh, I felt so at peace. I was riding this high for like an hour and a half, for like all night, the whole next day. Like I was riding high off of this feeling. Catherine they're crying like Riley's gonna get shot. Mind you, we're all cheering, partying, popping bottles. I don't have a bottle of pop, but I'm popping it. It's so freeing. Getting to see this on my screen, it's just like makes me happy seeing it. We're free of this. We're free of this man. I hate this man so much. We're free. Oh my god. Catherine is sobbing hysterically. Ava was already hysterically crying when we came back from the votes before Julie even said who went home. Rachel had to get her water because she was crying so hard. Keanu hit the who flipped pose like Fessy from BB20. He even had that bandana to match. Who flipped? People are crying, like hysterical. Catherine is inconsolable. She's leaning against the wall at one point, like shaking, sobbing. Nobody can, like, crying. And I'm so happy. I'm cheesing. If I didn't live with my parents still, the way I'd have been running laps around my living room, cheering. It was so... This truly was the best episode of the season because we started so low. I fully absolutely went into this episode thinking there was no chance in hell Riley was gonna go home. I was like, there's no way. There's no way. Vince and Ava were so like leaning towards keeping him. I can't wait. Like I can't wait to see this in the episode tonight. The replay of the post eviction. I'm gonna be right on that high for a long time. So to go from so low and then to go even lower when Mickey wins the blockbuster, just to shoot back up for Riley to go home. Oh. Dreams do come true, y'all. Sometimes things actually do go our way on Big Brother. And on a Rachel HOH. An honor and a privilege to have lived through this week. Even when things got scary, we did it. We won. We could deal with Mickey's kooky ass. It's fine. I am so happy that man is gone. I don't care. I'm so happy. But he gets out of the house. We're free. He talks to Julie. His only exit interview, by the way, because they canceled all of his Friday ones with, Sharon Tharp, Mike Bloom, RHGP, all of those due to scheduling conflicts. What schedule? You're on Big Brother. You expected at most to be there for months. What schedule? You didn't have a schedule. You had no schedule. It's called hiding your ass because you know you're wrong. You know your ass has been caught in 4K. I'll pick up my mic. I don't care. Your ass is caught. You knew you fucked up. You were scared. Scheduling conflict, my ass. Whatever. I don't even think he wasn't even on Unlocked. I believe Taylor Hale said he was not even on Unlocked. Chicken shit. That's all I gotta say about that. But we get his one interview with Julie. He's like, and he's got the mask on. Because I know he's livid. But he's keeping it peaceful. He's like, oh, Julie, I don't know what happened. but I guess it's my own fault because I messed up the blockbuster, which is true. You did fuck it up, idiot. And he's like, oh, Julie tells him who the votes were against him. She's like, do you think Vince voted to keep you? He's like, I would like to think so. And she's like, he didn't. And he was like, damn, I know he was livid, but he's on stage. Mind you, this crowd, by the way, dead. He only gets like the polite cheers at the beginning, and then they clap at the end. But during the interview, nothing. It could have been ghosts sitting there. You would never known. Nothing. Obviously, because I wish they brought. I know they're banned from booing now after what happened with Christine on BB16. Bring back booing. Let people boo again. Let him boo. He deserves to be booed. I wouldn't give a fuck about the rules. I'd be like, boo. I've been booing. I don't care. But fine. Whatever. I wasn't there, so I couldn't have booed. I would have booed in my living room if I could have. I should have. I was too busy clapping and cheering and partying. Though we do get a moment where I think he realizes his goose. Not his goose. What the fuck? I don't even know. What the fuck is the expression? Was it chickens? Is it chickens have come to roost? Is that what it is? Whatever. His ass is grass. He realizes pretty quickly. When Julie talks to him about, oh, you said when they're talking about Catherine and him. And Julie's like, oh, you said, like, oh, I want to marry Catherine. He's like, yeah, I did say that. I didn't know you guys heard that. This is Big Brother. You didn't think they heard that? I'm sorry if that was very loud, by the way. So that means he didn't realize we were seeing. The way these people do not realize how the live feeds work this year is crazy. I don't think half people know how the live feeds work. Clearly his ass doesn't. Because he seemed shocked by the fact that people saw that he said that he wanted to marry Catherine. And I'm like, oh buddy, that is the least of your problems. We saw it all, man. You're gonna have to go into hiding. Go back to Oklahoma, have fun. Your ass is grass, buddy. But yeah, that's all we really get. Which is good, because I don't want to see that man anymore on my screen. And I never have to again. If we're lucky, maybe he won't even come back for finale night. But yeah, I will say I am pissed about him not doing good interviews because he's chicken shit. Because oh my god, I know they were going to be good. They were going to be so good. Mike, Sharon, Rob, and Taram, they were like, we're about to do the exit interviews of our lifetimes. They were going to smoke his ass. His ass was going to be grass on grass on grass. He was done for. They were going to put him on so much blast, it would have been crazy. But no, scheduling conflicts. What schedule? CBS, tell me what schedule. Would love to know. Tell me the schedule. There was none. Stupid. But regardless, we still won. Yippee! We do get a little bit at the end as well. BB unlocked. Taylor and Derek are there. Taylor posted some great videos behind the scenes of her cheering and dancing like this. When Riley goes home, I'm like, period. She gets it. But yeah, Derek and Taylor. I don't know why I said Derek and Claire. I'm shot. But yeah, Derek and Taylor are there talking about Unlocked. How instead of Friday, this week it's gonna be instead of Friday, it's gonna be on Sunday night, like a supersized Big Brother episode. I believe it's not 2 hours. I think it's only an hour. I think combined they're only an hour and a half. Probably because Riley wasn't there. Because Riley didn't fucking do his interview. He probably threw a fucking fit. Loser. But they have the special guest they've been teasing all week. That was pretty easy to figure out, as is all their other clues. They had amber gemstones, a cup of tea, and this is the fucking Survivor logo, which, hello, couldn't make this clear a day. Here comes Boston Rob. Which is so funny. don't even know if Boston Rob, does he even watch Big Brother? I almost said Survivor. Obviously, he better watch Survivor. But Boston Rob is there to talk about Big Brother. Can't wait to hear his thoughts on this season so far. Thanks, Boston Rob. And then Julie Chen is like challenging him to. She's like, "Would you ever play Big Brother?" And he's like, "No." He's very politely. He's like, no, thank you." But she specifically says like the full Big Brother, like 3-month Big Brother. And Derek is like, I'll play again if Boston Rob plays again. Which is kind of raising some flags because Derek and Taylor also mentioned, talking about Unlocked this week, that there was going to be a special surprise announcement from a BB legend. Now, we don't know what that is. I know there has been some speculation about a winter season. Because a few of the winter alumni have been talking about it online. Like June Song has said she would come back if it was all winners. I believe Taylor said that as well, because Taylor said she would not play like the full Big Brother again, but she said she would be interested in like, she said a month to 8 weeks winners, like, or all-stars, something like that. So we're all like, I think somebody else said that as well. I'm forgetting who. Was it Chelsea? I don't recall. But we're all starting to be like, that's suspicious. Derek also mentions this episode, like, a Big Brother. Was it Derek? I'm blanking. Honestly, I was so riding the high of Riley. Even watching it again, I was like riding the high again. I don't even remember what the hell they were saying about this. But they also mentioned like maybe like Survivor versus Big Brother, like a smaller season, which I like. Like, you know, when they did Celebrity Big Brother during like the February like winter time, which I think would be very fun. I'm hoping it is something like that, especially since they're not doing reindeer games again. Unless that is what it is, I don't know. Because they only did reindeer games at one time, and then like they didn't do it again, and they deleted reindeer games off of Paramount Plus. Stupid. But whatever. You think it'll be like an OTT again? That'd be really fucking cool. But I doubt it. Anyways, so we won't know. We'll find out tonight what this is. The special secret announcement from a BB legend. Though I'm a little nervous about BB legend. Derek was like, it's a real legend, I swear, because, they love to be like legend and all-star, and it's Joe Schmo over here, and I'm like, this person's not an all-star. This person's not a legend, but it's fine. We are getting into some good segments, so they'd say we're going to get a family visit with Will's family, which I am excited to see. So we'll get that. But yeah. What a week. What a week. My little heart is so full of joy. I get to tune into an episode and not have to deal with Riley. No more Riley on feeds. He's not even going to be in the jury. Oh my god. So yeah, this was truly like, when I tell you, I was riding this high. I was so... It's rare that we win on Big Brother, because sometimes we want things to go our way, and it never fucking does. It never ever does. So for things to actually go our way is so rare. And I'm so happy it did. I'm just so happy it did. But yeah. That was week 6. Best week by far. Let's see what happens when you have a competent person as HOH who actually knows how Big Brother works and functions. Shout out Rachel Riley, the Rachel H, as people have been calling it. She truly never... It was such a good ass week. She broke up a showmance. She got a big threat that nobody was going to put up because they acted like she killed somebody when she put him up. And clearly, none of them are going to put him up. So that was a big threat. Especially with the jury only being 7 people now. You bring a showmance to the end. That is... You need 4 votes to win. They're 2 guaranteed votes together. That's a problem. That is a problem. You do not want them in. So she did everybody a fucking favor. Whether they feel like it or not. So I'm super stoked. But yeah, that was week 6. Really, really happy with how it went. Yeah, I'm just very happy. I'm just so glad that man's not on my TV anymore. I don't care. Call me a hater. I don't care. I don't like that man. And you can't make me like him. I won't. I don't care. I'm still mad about scheduling conflicts. Nonsense. But whatever. But yeah, that's our episode for the week. Our weekly episode. Oh god, I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm just like still. I'm feeling the high again. Gonna talk about it again. I'm like, oh, he went home. But yeah, that was my thoughts and feelings. Clearly, a lot of thoughts and a lot of feelings. Overall, God bless. If only Lauren just hadn't. Can you imagine? We would still be doing with Riley if Lauren just didn't realize Rachel Riley was not someone to bluff. Shout out to Lauren. You know, should have listened to Rachel. But I'm glad she didn't. She did get that man sent home. Like, all she had to do was not use the veto and Mickey would be out. What are my bangs doing? Oh my god. There we go. But she used it. Riley got put up in my voyage. Have fun in Luther. Go ride your bulls and do whatever the fuck you do. I don't care. He could go away for all I care. But yeah. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on this week. How was the Rachel H to you? Tell me how much you hate Riley. If you like Riley, I don't care. Didn't ask. That's not what I'm asking you. Who? I don't know. What would you have done for this blockbuster? Would you have locked in at 29? The answer is no. Don't do that. I don't know. Tell me your thoughts on this week. Because I have a lot of them, clearly. I have a lot of thoughts, feelings, and opinions. Was Riley the right person to get out? Yes. But let me know your thoughts down below. And like I said at the beginning of this episode, I keep calling these episodes videos. Jesus. Like I said at the beginning of this video, we got some more things coming up. Obviously, week 7 coverage for at the end of this week for Big Brother. We have the Amazing Race 38 cast with our Big Brother alumni. We have Survivor 49 cast reaction coming in a couple weeks. And we also have my Stray Kids video. And also would love some suggestions if for edited videos. Those can kind of be, they're kind of going to be whatever. Honestly, they're not going to be all, I might do some obviously reality TV related stuff because that's kind of like the big thing here. No, this is, like I said, probably more like post Big Brother. Because it's so much time. But it can be anything. I do a lot of things. I'll yap about something for like 20 minutes. I don't care. I'll take suggestions. That's fine. But yeah. And we also have Guts and Glory. That's going to be a couple of videos coming up. But yeah. That's kind of it, what I got for y'all. Like, subscribe if you want. Let me know your thoughts. Alright. Well, that was our day indoors talking about Big Brother 27 week 6. And I, for one, am very happy. I hope y'all are happy too. You better be. But for now, bon voyage. Bye. Oh, I didn't click the button.